Reprogram the mind or claim your identity. Reality creation and manifestation. Which one creates your reality experience? It's claiming your identity, but why? Because you are the source of all identity, and what identity actually is what I'm going to break down in today's video. Thanks so much for joining me. I am Reese. This is Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. And now for the video. See, I just discovered your videos and I am intrigued. One of the subscribers from TikTok actually, right? And what I like about that is that it's not I am against this, I am trying to believe it, I am whatever emotions and feelings and identities I have within me, but it's the one where I am choosing to and being willing to know myself as this idea. I am feeling all of these things that I'm feeling. Can you explain to me what's really going on? But what's really happening? See, from their point of view, they are unpacking and unfolding who they know themselves as. So what they are feeling can no longer be their reality, and they're just going about this unfolding, recognizing themselves from what they are already willing to believe in. No fighting, nothing, just choosing to understand what's going on, what they desire, how they desire it, and how it comes about. So if I see my end self, this is the question, if I see my end self as a neurosurgeon and I do nothing to become a neurosurgeon, how does my current self become my end self and thus change my reality? I do like this question because it's showing I'm aware of a current version of myself. I'm aware of a current story. I'm also aware of another version of me. How do I make that version the version that I am that's living that life? Well, how did you make the one that you are living now? Why are you aware of both? Who are you then in relation to being aware of two selves? See, this makes sense up until the point it doesn't. She continued, or he or he continued, whoever. And I'm thinking, is it because I'm so hardwired to believe nothing happens without me putting work into it? Yes, we have that belief. We have the belief that causing something in our three-dimensional reality creates the effect within the same three-dimensional reality, but we are having a linear experience, but the cause of what you're causing and the cause of the effect have the same cause, you as reality. So every time I try to embrace what you are explaining, see, they have that willingness, but they are also wondering why they are experiencing rejection from the mind. Why is your brain rejecting the idea? Is it because it doesn't fit the narrative and processes I've been told all my life? You see, you experience the idea of rejection because you are accepting something else as true. You are accepting that this thing that no longer fits me is what I believe is true still. So I'm having resistance to believing that. I'm having resistance to the feeling of what I believe. That I can't choose it, I need to feel better about the choice, then it's my choice. What I feel better about doing is my choice. What I feel good about doing, what I feel good about thinking, what I feel good about feeling, what I'm positively feeling, what I'm feeling positive about must be the right choice. It must be what I'm living, must be what I'm choosing to embrace. If this is all true, how do I actually reprogram my brain to accepting this? So it's not that they don't accept it, it's just that they want their brain to also accept it and feel natural so they can feel better about what they are currently living and what they are currently choosing. But none of that stuff creates reality. You are reality itself. Look at this. I used this image a few times, I do like it. You are consciousness. You are that consciousness, and every single version of yourself, all of those scripts, all of those identity representing lives that you have lived exist within you. All complete, back to front. In fact, it doesn't even require the context of your lived experience. It doesn't even require the context of your lived experience to look different for any of those to be true. They're all superimposed into the exact same place. I just expanded it so we can see it. You are the consciousness that is consciously aware of versions of yourself that you are living, that you have already created, that those images in that way give form to that version of yourself, those circumstances and those people, events and experiences, those thoughts, feelings that you have within your own awareness, experiencing it because it's all you. One of those is basically, I need to reprogram my mind. It's going to be there. It's going to just continuously just be there. It's forever, eternally that idea. But here's the thing. The one way we think, I need to reprogram my mind, we consciously assume that I am, that we accept the I am of it. We don't dispute the I am not existence of it. If you're choosing between the identity of I am requiring to reprogram our mind and whether it exists or not, we never doubt that. We just create the illusion of evidence for this existence. You're already accepting that's true. You're accepting the I amness of that. That's what's creating that reality, the acceptance of the I amness of I need to reprogram my mind. You are accepting the existence of all that is as all that is, accepting its own existence, that you exist as this identity right now. And then when you go to the other idea of, well, I am, or I am not, and I am not doesn't exist, I am a neurosurgeon, then we become questioning of evidence. Well, I have no ideas that I have lived previously of becoming a neurosurgeon or whatever it is. And I have no evidence other than my own awareness. And I've always been used to doing work to become this person, to become who I am. I worked to become who I am right now. You're not anything. You are pure nothingness with infinite potential, being a physically focused version of yourself right now that's always changing. That's what you really truly are. So the idea that I am who I say I am is you calling forth who you say you are from all that you are. So when you are affirming something, it's not trying to be it, it's affirming what's already true for you. So when you're saying I am a neurosurgeon or anything, we start to debate whether we are that thing or not. We are leaning toward I am not more than I am. But even this user, which is I am intrigued, is coming from I'm willing to believe it. I just want to know what's going on. And that's perfect. You're asking yourself, who am I, when you are saying I am intrigued? I am intrigued is a state. It's a state of I am intrigued. It's answering the who am I, and you are experiencing being intrigued, which is fine, because that's the heart of manifestation. What you are being is what you are experiencing, but what you are experiencing may not always relate to what you are being, because what you are experiencing is also meaningless. It has no meaning. You are the one that gives it meaning. So if you are saying whatever I experience or did experience or may experience doesn't create my identity, I know my identity, then no experience will ever matter to you, only the ones that are relevant to you, because you know who you are. So do nothing to become a neurosurgeon, and then, well, how do I become that then? How does my reality change? It's not do nothing to become a neurosurgeon, it's that you have already done everything that is part of the identity of being a neurosurgeon. You've already created that reality, you've already lived it, you've lived it in an infinite number of ways. You are just choosing the one that relates to you as who you say you are right now to live it. Your imagining of it was the doing of it. And that doing is a choice. It's the only doing that matters on a metaphysical level or any level. It's not effort-based, it's just choosing to be aware of a version of yourself. You now accept this as who you are, and you're walking in that assumption that you are that identity. That's reality only ever being aware of itself, expressing itself. There's no effort in being aware. You're always aware. You're effortlessly being aware now. You've only ever been effortlessly being aware now. And you've only ever been aware of what exists now. We bring effort into it when we're trying to fight feelings, fight thoughts, contemplate circumstances, wonder how circumstances can be rearranged, whether something is true or not. None of that matters. It's only I am, and I am exists. There's no effort in choosing to see yourself as you prefer, as it already exists that way. We bring in effort to sort out imaginal problems that don't exist. We feel those things, we experience those things exist as well. No one's denying and disputing those things exist as experiences. I'm denying they have any power over you to just simply experience what you desire and say, this is who I am. Because that is who you are, and who you say you are is who you are. So when I say, or we say, or anyone says, do nothing, it doesn't mean you will literally do nothing. You'll just wake up one day with a stethoscope around your neck saying, oh, I'm a doctor now. It means you don't have to go out and figure out how to become a neurosurgeon out there, because there isn't an out there where things are happening or you need to make things happen. You are the identity that became a neuroscientist, a neurosurgeon. That version of you is not in the future. It's not something that you're moving toward. You're moving as the version of you that became a neurosurgeon. You can do nothing on this path but live that life. That's what you are choosing. This is who I am. But any point on that path is also able to be anywhere else. You are never stuck to that. You are just choosing it and persisting in, this is who I am. You are already the identity that became that. The version of you is not in the future. That you is not anywhere else but here and now. It's not something you are moving toward. Nothing about you is coming from the past either. The past is something you are aware of right now, created by who you say you are right now. So the past that you are thinking about, that you may be referring to as to who you are right now, it doesn't actually exist outside of the images you are creating for the experiencing of its existence. Yes, your current physical appearances that mean nothing, that you're trying to change, do not require you trying to change them. Why? Because they are always changing, because everything unfolds from here again. Your entire reality created back to front now, again and again and again and again. It's infinitely doing this incredibly unfathomable, powerful recreation of eternity, moment to moment to moment, by who you say you are. And all comes from the identity you are being right now. That I am or I am not. And I am can't be an identity. I am not can't be an identity. It doesn't exist. It refers to something that doesn't exist. The reference is an experience, but what it's referring to does not exist. If that identity, as I am a neurosurgeon, you are that identity, then it means, or any identity, then it means you are the one that became it, the one who is it, and the one who has already lived it. Retired and relaxing. You are living that reality now, just from this point of awareness, this point of view, always changing according to who you see yourself as. So it's never about changing reality, because reality is always changing. There's no fixed state. There's only the version of you are being expressed as your experience. If you were to watch a movie and you were trying to change the movie to the next scene, it just unfolds into the scenes. It's unfolding the movie. You never have to change the scene to get to the next scene. It's always flowing, giving itself context. Your reality is flowing perfectly, giving itself context to who you say you are, what movie you are watching. Always changing according to you. So again, it's not that you do nothing, it's that you accept that what you imagined was the beingness of it. It's already you. When you imagine something, you are reality. This is who you are. This is that viewpoint of the identity you are choosing to be. That's who you are. That version is not separate from you. It is you. You can't will it more than you already willed being it. If you can see yourself as a neurosurgeon, if you can imagine it, then that image is not out there somewhere that you need to make happen. It is the one with you, as you, expressed as you, for you, through you. Now, it's you. Everything that follows from your experiencing of who and what you have decided to be right now, learning, studying, practicing, working with patients, whatever, none of that creates the identity. They're all snapshot frames of the totality of that identity. It's viewpoints. Even if it's learning, it's still a viewpoint of awareness, knowing itself as that identity. It all comes from the identity. Anything, if you installing a TV onto your wall and it comes with a manual just to know how things work, you reading that manual is you being the version of yourself who has always had that TV, always knew how it worked, always was watching that one, because that's what reality is. It's that. Even if you experience learning about it, it's still a new viewpoint of you knowing the identity you have now chosen to be, consciously or unconsciously. That is why the question is never, what do I do to become a neurosurgeon? The answer, the real answer, the only answer is, I already am that identity. That is what's being expressed. Because identity comes first and everything else is just the experiencing of it, unfolding. See, it's the present moment. We have a past and we have a future. In this present moment, we have a new past and a new future. In this present moment, we have a new past and a new future. Even if you are thinking that the past that you're thinking of got you here, it didn't. You are here now, calling forth images that make sense to you. You're calling forth images from behind you, pretending, imagining that that version had no idea what you were going to be doing right now. But you are creating it in that way. You're creating a past you that had no idea, because it just makes sense to do that to you logically, that this is who you are. The version of you that had no idea what you were about to do right here and right now. But it's an illusion. You know you're creating it unconsciously or consciously in that way to give yourself context. You say, well, no, that me didn't know what I was going to do. I'm imagining that version. Yeah, you're recreating that version right now. You can just as easily remember a past where you knew exactly what you were going to do and say and be, but no, you are creating it from here, and it must have already existed here and now, because it's only ever created here and now, and all those images are created here and now equally. You get to choose from them. You don't have to make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to be logical, because it's not logical, because there's no linear timeline from here to there to anywhere. Think about this, right? You can imagine another version of reality where no matter how old you were, how far away that was, that version of you is consciously, absolutely and utterly aware that it's being imagined right now from this point of now. Why? Because every version of you exists. So every version of you that ever knew it was consciousness, that was consciously aware of every version of yourself that could be imagined, knowing itself as consciousness, is only a reflection of you as that consciousness that was always aware of who and what it is. You are awareness. Whether it's 5 years ago, 20 years ago, it is now, and it is a new version of it. So when you are imagining a version of you that just knows who you are, no matter how old you were, or whatever you were, or wherever you were, it exists. Because there's no linear timeline of these images. You create the linear timeline of the images to make sense. But you don't have to create the timeline to make sense. The timeline just makes sense automatically. You are the one calling it forth. No matter what you remember, it is a new past image. No matter what you are thinking about, it's a new past image or future image. But it's all past. It's already done. You are the consciousness, always aware of who and what you are choosing to remember yourself as. So remember the version of you that has always known its reality. Whether you were a child, teen, adult, older, whatever. Because you've always been that. You've always been the version of you that has known your entire life. I am source, I am power, I am God, I am reality, and whatsoever I contemplate, that is my identity. That is who I am. Because that is who you are, it's already existing like that. Up until the point, I'm hardwired to believe nothing happens. So at this point now, I feel the effort. I feel my mind rejecting it. I feel I need to reprogram my mind. It makes sense up until it doesn't, right? As she said. Because what you're really asking is, why does this feel so hard to believe? Why is my mind rejecting it? Here's the thing. Your entire life, as I said, that you believe that you have lived up until now is something you are aware of right now. It's an image, a story, a set of memories that represent the version of you are currently choosing to be. Ignorant of yourself, self-imposed ignorance, right? Pretending. When you imagine yourself doing something, you're pretending as if that version of you doesn't know it's being imagined. But it must, because it's you. So when you say, I've always believed this, what you are really doing is choosing to identify with the version of yourself that believes that, and then using that past you're remembering as evidence for it. You are not hardwired for anything. The only hardwiring is that reality automatically flows from who you are being. So you're automatically manifesting everything. That's the only hardwire. You are choosing to believe that you are hardwired in a specific way. That's not true. That's a choice. My mind rejects this. Just be still and know that I am God. Whatever I am aware of, my mind rejecting something can't be me, because who am I that knows this idea is being rejected by my mind? Who am I then? Who and what is noticing rejection? That's you. You are the one noticing that your mind is rejecting something. Whether you accept something or not is the only thing. Doesn't matter what your mind does. Doesn't matter what your brain does. Your brain and your mind are nothing more than experiences of consciousness being recreated right now again and again. The mind is nothing more than the experiencing of the three-dimensional self in its three-dimensional experiencing of reality. It's how we experience the now three-dimensional moment. It's how we experience the current physically focused, manifested physical form in its context. The context of a past and a future that it continuously is recreated as the physically focused version of you is recreated over and over again. There's no context outside of your contextual existence of this physically focused self. It doesn't actually exist. Not in the way that we think in this objective way. So your brain and your mind and whatever else, the experiencing of rejection is being recreated right now because you believe it's more true than something else. But if you allow it to be there as one story, and you allow the other story to also be there, which is I am awareness, and say this is the one that I'm choosing, regardless if I feel my mind, brain, whatever, rejecting a story, I'm not the one rejecting it. I'm rejecting that this has power over me. I'm rejecting that the story and experience of my brain has power over me to reject something where it doesn't matter if it feels like it rejected something. It doesn't matter if it feels like it accepted something. I accept it. I am the consciousness. It's all you choosing to believe that it is true and needs changing, but do nothing with those thoughts and feelings. Because they don't do anything. You are the one that consciously chooses whether to accept something as true or not. So the reprogramming of the brain idea, it doesn't matter. The whole identity is the experience you are having. I need to reprogram my brain. That's the experience. Anything you can think of is the experiencing of it. I need to reprogram my brain. I don't need to reprogram my brain. I am perfect. I am source. I am not perfect. I am not source. I am a lumberjack. I am an ambulance driver. I am a doctor. I am a lawyer. I am whatever. I'm an actor. I'm a singer. I'm a musician. I'm a rocket scientist. I'm on the moon. Whatever. It has, and that is the reality expression of it. It's all in awareness, but all of its potential to you, who you are right now. You as awareness don't reject anything. You know that those stories all exist within you. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to contemplate it. And you are the awareness as everything. Your mind, your subconscious, your identity, all of God, everything, everywhere, all at once. You are all of it. One awareness expressing itself as different viewpoints to know itself. Yes, you have a mind experience, you have a brain experience, you have all of these things. Especially if you're going to be a neuroscientist or a surgeon. You can see a lot of brains. But It's unpacking of reality. You are reality experiencing the neurosurgeon of yourself. You're choosing to see a version of yourself that needs to be fixed when you think, I need to reprogram my mind. But that broken version of you doesn't change. It exists perfectly broken. You are the perfection in which gives a perfect effect and image and experience of having a imperfect, reprogramming needing brain and experience. But it's not real. It's not real compared to anything else. It's a real experience, but it's not reality. You are reality that contains everything, and that's what reality is. So what's the shift? Not fixing anything, it is choosing the version of you that simply says, simply knows, I am a neurosurgeon. I am a doctor. That's my experience, that's my choice, that's my assumption of who I am, and everything unfolds from within that assumption, that knowing, that identity. The actions, the learning, the people, the opportunities, the whatever, all unfolds from that. Not because those things create the identity, but because the identity expresses all of that. I know it seems a bit counterintuitive from a three-dimensional sense, where if I said the bricks don't make the house, where we see the house getting made with bricks. So when the bricks are all done, that means the house is made. But the house existed. Consciousness made the house first. Consciousness created that house, and the backstory of the house was bricks came, bricklayers, construction workers put the house together using bricks. But that is a new image coming into your awareness from within yourself. You are one with it, identifying with this as your now truth, and reality rearranged itself via effects for the experiencing of that image, of that version of reality. So while we see bricks being laid, reality already laid all of it, had the house made, and you were already living in it. That's what I mean. So the doubt along the way of whether or not the house gets made doesn't matter. The fear along the way, whether or not the house gets made, doesn't matter. My father's house has many mansions. One of those mansions is a house. And imagine, the circumstances don't matter because the house is made. Even if the positive things don't matter, or the negative things don't matter, even the positive things or negative things don't matter. They're just stories. They're just effects. They don't change. Someone telling you, hey, you are an amazing doctor. While you can imagine that, and that is true, and that is an experience of that version of you, if you so choose, it doesn't create the identity. It's experiencing that identity that already was created. A degree does not make you a doctor. It's part of the identity. You are that doctor already. The degree is natural. A practice doesn't make you one. It's natural to the identity. The lab coat, the tools, none of that creates the identity. It's natural to the version of you to have all of those things unfolding perfectly. Identity is first. All of those things are just the expression of it. You can put a lab coat on, that's not going to matter. You can go make up a degree, that's not going to matter. You can have a degree and you can completely forget everything you know. I have an engineering degree. I don't know any engineering anymore whatsoever because it's no longer who I am. I know that's still within me. I know it's still potential, but I don't remember anything because this is no longer what I'm actively choosing to be aware of as my version of myself. And that's okay, but I know the potential is still there, but just not my reality. None of that stuff creates identity. It's not about changing the 3D. The 3D is just an effect. The effect doesn't create identity. Identity is the source of all effects as one. So be that one. Be the version of yourself you are choosing to be aware of. By knowing you are already being it, you already are that, and that's what's unfolding. Because going to the end and staying there is who you say you are, is you being it, and is what you are playing out as reality. And this is why it works. You see, every person has a higher consciousness. And that higher consciousness has infinite versions of that physically focused person. that are concurrently happening at the same time. So from your point of view, when you see a person, when you see a patient, they're not necessarily only that sick identity. That's the version of them you called forth for your specific experiencing of yourself. You didn't make them sick. That version of them was always sick, and the version of them that was sick that was coming to you as a doctor always existed. But from their point of view, they have a higher consciousness, which is knowing infinite versions of them that are also living their lives, but none of them matter in accordance to who you are experiencing as reality. And the reason that works is because all of our higher selves is the one higher self that is the greater awareness of reality itself, that knows itself as only reality, not experiencing it moment to moment, being all the moments in every parallel superimposed experience as all things right now, not experiencing itself as those things, being those things. Really get this. From your point of view, you have a higher consciousness. You are knowing yourself as that same consciousness that's having infinite lives. One of those lives is you being a neurosurgeon. When you are experiencing as a neurosurgeon, whenever you see someone, a patient, you are experiencing a version of them that relates to you being that doctor. You didn't make them sick. They unfold that way in your awareness of your specific version of yourself that you choose to be. It always existed. From their point of view, they have a higher self that knows itself as that higher self that already is being every version of themselves simultaneously. So you didn't make them sick. They were always that sick version, and you were always the one that healed them. But healing yourself as reality is knowing all of that still within you perfectly. Existing, healed, not healed, and perfect at the same time. So when you light up that new version of yourself, whether it's a specific person, money, doctor, or whatever it is, patience, all of those things, that's what you're lighting up. You're lighting up a movie that's automatically created for your experiencing of it, and your acceptance of who you are is the unfolding of that experience. That's reality creation. Who I imagine myself to be is who I accept myself to be right now, who I choose to be right now, who I define myself to be right now, and who I assume and I'm walking in the assumption of being right now. Anything I do or I don't do doesn't matter. I'm still that identity. So the doing of being that version of myself has to always be there, even if I don't know in every moment what to do or not to do. But now I know that it doesn't matter what I do or don't do, because I can never make a wrong turn. Because you aren't turning to become, you are turning as, you are doing as or not doing as. You are not doing or doing as the identity who is a neurosurgeon, regardless of whatever it looks like moment to moment, because the moments to moments are always changing. So you are who you say you are. So go to the end, light it up. Know that when you light up something, you have a new past, you have a new future, you have a new identity, because you're the one that called it forth as this. And your true identity as source, as power, as reality, already had it within you, and you're already being it, and your contemplation of it is your reality. I am who I say I am, because I'm Reese, and this is your reality with Reese. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for the question. Really unpacked it quite a bit there, with quite a few examples and things like that. Really enjoyed it. Thank you for the emails. Thank you for the liking, sharing, joining the Facebook groups and channel. Thank you for joining the TikTok page as well. And I will see you all in the next one.